Welcome to Kaijuly 2024. Your humble host Jason Seekers here with a short video, hoping to give you some ideas of what kaiju movies to watch this Kaijuly. Maybe you've seen them and forgotten about them. Maybe you've never seen them at all. Let's find out. Sorry we're not up in the laser cave, but I'm redoing the floors up there, so the room's a complete shambles. But I do have my Godzilla OG shirt represented here, and my Godzilla hat. My friend Dan gave me this. This is a pretty cool hat. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? All right, first up, we're going to start with Ultraman Rising, a new Netflix series that just debuted. I'm taping this just ahead of July 1st, so it just came out in June. And I haven't seen it yet, so I obviously can't comment on it. However, I thoroughly enjoyed the last Netflix original series for Ultraman. It was absolutely fantastic. Go check it out if you haven't watched it. I haven't seen a lot of Ultraman in the past. I do know who the character was, but the stuff from the 60s and so forth I haven't really seen. So I'm starting to check that stuff out now. But I'm really looking forward to this. It stars the voice talents of Gere Watanabe, Francois Chow, Kieno Young. I can remember his name. And these guys, you have to look them up, but these guys respectively, their careers go way back to the 80s in animated shows like G.I. Joe. Watanabe's been in. He was the guy who played Long Duck something in 16 Candles, right?
Oh, sexy girlfriend, Monzai.
Right, so he's been in a bunch of stuff too. But yeah, these guys are actually fantastic. And Francois Chow, most recently that I've seen him in was The Tick. He played Walter, I think.
Really is good cheese, Walter.
I've done a good amount of reading on the subject.
Cheese?
Superheroes.
Anyway, he was in that show, and that was a fun show from just a few years back. Not the animated series; they did a live series not too long ago. But anyway, not too much to say about it, but I can't wait to watch it, and let's see what happens. All right, we're gonna switch from streaming over to laserdisc. Oh, we got a glare here. Let's see if I can get that glare off. There we go. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Yeah. This is now, like most in my generation, I originally saw this on TV. I have watched this very laser disc several years ago, and it's time for a rewatch. Now, this is a mythological kaiju movie, but it's still plenty of kaiju in there. We've got a rock, we've got a cyclops, we've got dragons and other things. So this qualifies definitely as a kaiju movie. This was released in 1958 and made about, from what I read, $3 million within the first 3 weeks. You put that into an inflation calculator, you're talking about $38 million. I mean, it's considered to be the best. There's 3 Sinbad films. This is considered to be the best one. And of course, Ray Harryhausen. Who does not like his work? It still holds up today. I don't care. I do not care what amazing things we can do with computers these days. Pre-computers, when things were stop action like this, his work is superb, and I still love watching it. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, last time I watched King Kong. Let's get that glare off. Sorry about that. Right? Well, flip that guy over. Now we have Son of Kong, released in 1933, I believe. It's a direct sequel to the original Kong, and it basically takes place where the guy that brought Kong back in the original movie is sued out the wazoo, and he's practically bankrupt. Anyway, they end up going back to Skull Island, find the son of Kong, little baby Godzilla, and sorry, not Godzilla, King Kong, son of Kong, little baby King Kong, and the story progresses from there. I've never seen this. I have seen The Mighty Joe Young, which is the third movie. I'm not sure if Mighty Joe Young is a direct sequel to this, but I have seen that one. I also saw the reboot of The Mighty Joe Young back in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, I forget. This one did okay. It's mixed reviews from what I've read. Only profited about $130-something thousand when it was after being released. But yeah, so this is actually a first-time watch for me. So that'll be cool. I haven't seen it before, so I can't make any comments on it. There's Kong fighting some kind of small dinosaur lizard thingy. But that reminds me, I think it's on Netflix as well, there's an animated series called Skull Island. If you haven't checked that out, that's also a lot of fun. I don't think there's not a second season. I don't even know if there will be a second season. But I watched the whole first one, and it was really entertaining, very good. So, Son of Kong, check that out. All right, next up, one of my all-time, no, it is my all-time favorite Godzilla movie. The original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Now, if you have not seen this absolute beauty, let me pull this back a little bit. This is the entire Showa era of Godzilla movies on Blu-ray. So all the Blu-rays are here. And this case is obviously a book. And you can see I've already got it opened up to the page of that glare off Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. This movie is absolutely epic for me. Growing up, you know, in the 70s and the 80s, of course, late 70s and 80s, Godzilla pretty much was only ever available to me on TV. And when it happened to come on a Saturday morning or something like that, I watched it. I caught it. And this movie really sticks out to me because I remember it was coming on TV, it was being broadcast, and my dad videotaped it for me. So we had a VCR, obviously, and he taped it for me. And I watched the hell out of that tape until it finally just disappeared. I mean, it was such a good movie to me. You know, it's still a Godzilla movie. Its production value is not the best, but it's just an absolute epic thing. And of course, Mechagodzilla has been rebooted several times throughout the era. There's multiple eras for Godzilla. There's the Showa era, the Heisei, and I have them out of order. Heisei, and I'm probably butchering the names. The Millennial, and there's two more now. I can't remember. And here I am, a Godzilla fan. I can't remember all the eras, but they, you know, in each era when they redo it, when they start the Godzilla stuff over again, they usually have Mechagodzilla. And as a matter of fact, in Kong versus Godzilla, of course, as we all know, Mechagodzilla makes a showing again. So yeah, it's a popular character. He was also in Ready Player One.
Mechagodzilla!
So if you're a Godzilla fan and you don't have this Blu-ray collection, there's something wrong with you. You need to get out here and get this one. The Showa era films from 1954 to 1975. All of them. All in one nice, really cool package. This is another reason why physical media absolutely rocks. Could I stream it? Could I probably find the movie on TV? Sure, but I don't have this if I did that. I want this, and this is absolutely cool. My wife got this for me for my birthday a couple years ago. Yeah, this is really cool. So check out that movie if you haven't seen it. Since we're still on Mechagodzilla, and I've said that he's been rebooted a few times, right? Pretty much every era. Let's just move right over into this guy. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. This is the Japanese box set. I'm going to open it up off screen here so I can show you what's in here. It's got a prequel insert that goes with it. And the attention to detail is just really cool. This is these are the inserts for, this is laserdisc, of course, I'm sorry. But these are the inserts for it, and each one is different. I got this guy on a tray several years ago with another laserdisc enthusiast named Hayden, and I forgot what I gave to him. I think it was 2 laser discs that I traded, or one. I don't remember what it was now. Anyway, the disc that I had traded with ended up being broken in the mail, unfortunately, despite my superior packaging. And so I ended up just buying this one, but because that was the right thing to do. But now this is all in Japanese, no subtitles. The right way to watch Godzilla, right? Yeah. Speaking of, we just watched Godzilla -1 with a bunch of friends. Dan, who gave me this, John, and one of Dan's friends, Nick. And it was absolutely fantastic. I was so into it. I went into it fearful because there's character development. Now, we all know when there's character development on a Godzilla movie, that's the worst part of the movie. Right? They spend too much time on characters. They did it right on this one. They did it absolutely right. They tied in the kamikaze pilot and the characters surrounding him from the beginning of the movie throughout all the way to the end. And they absolutely played a pivotal part to the story itself. They did it. The directors, the writers, everyone who was involved in that movie did it absolutely right. And I was so happy. I was just like, you know. And at the end, there's a tiny bit of a twist. Not a huge twist, but a tiny bit of a twist. You just go, ah, cool, you know. But they did it absolutely right. Of course, in the 2014 Godzilla, I think Legend did that one. They spent the first hour in character development and then killed off killed off Brian Cranston. I can't remember his name. Killed off one of the primary characters. And then it's like, okay. And then it was just the fighting afterwards. It's like there was a clear line drawn between the middle. But with -1, they took it all the way through. So if you haven't checked that one out, definitely check that out. All right, last up on our adventure here is The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Now, this is 1953. Is it 1953? 1950. Yeah, 1953. And much like the original Godzilla movie, this is tied to atom bombs, right? So atom bomb testing in the Arctic Circle wakes this guy up, and he wreaks havoc. So I've never seen this one before, and until I read about it, I didn't know that was the plot. I'm like, okay, so Godzilla wasn't the first one to do that. Then Godzilla appears to be the second one to blame nuclear energy and atomic testing on the creation or awakening of kaiju. So this one was the first one to do it, and of course, this is Ray Harryhausen. Oh. Only one cup of coffee this morning. Ray Harryhausen animation again. So you know it's going to be good. It's going to be fantastic. This is a black and white film. So again, this is a first time watch for me too. I always like first time watches because like I've said before, the kaiju genre is not huge. There are a lot of movies in there. A lot of them are stinkers. Some of them aren't, most of them are from the past. They do come out with some new ones every now and then, like Pacific Rim, which is fantastic. That's a great movie. Atlantic Rim is not, but Pacific Rim is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, it's a great kaiju movie. All right, that's all I got for you. That's probably all the time I have for movie watching, for extracurricular movie watching. Anyway, this coming July, it gets pretty busy during that month. So I hope I've given you some ideas. If you got movies, for those of you that watch these, if you've got movies that I've never mentioned before, post them here. I'll start a list for next Kaijuly, and we'll go from there. I'm always looking for new stuff. I know there's some newer, silly Japanese movies out there that deal with kaiju. There was one, the name of it is eluding me right now. I have to look it back up and add it to this video, but it just looked goofy as hell. Where they have a wrestler. There's a Japanese wrestler, a real Japanese wrestler, who's doing body slams on kaiju and stuff like that. He can grow really big. But yeah, anyway, you guys have a great Kaijuly, and see you next time. Bye.
Är det någon som sett min tvål? Skål!
You're really strict on what kaiju is, then you limit what you want to watch. But yeah, it's I can't I don't know where I'm going with this, so we'll just cut that part out, shall we? Okay.